traveler.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Born to be Wild, a Hearthstone podcast that talks about everything wild Hearthstone. Nate Wolf, how the hell are you today?
I'm doing pretty good considering this whole COVID thing is all very crazy. We're all kind of relegated, work from home, and everything's a little bizarre, but in good health, good spirits. I hit Legend super early this month, which is exciting for me, so I'm doing quite well. I am very excited to be hanging out with our old friend KremePuff. So I'm so excited to have you on the show. We haven't talked in a long time, so welcome back.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on. It has been a while. I haven't been on a podcast in so long, and I normally, I've said I've retired from the podcast world, and that when people try to invite me over, I'm like, I'm good. But I had to jump on this one.
We caught you at a good time.
Yeah, I don't have as much to do these days.
Oh, yeah, seriously. For the people who aren't as familiar, just a tiny bit of background. So Craig and I used to do Into the Wild.
Yep. We
had to stop for kind of work-life balance issues. We missed each other so much that we needed to come back and started a new show. But for the people who aren't familiar, you used to do a podcast called Top Deck Kings with Tell, who is a friend of ours as well. And back when Into the Wild had first started, Tell was instrumental in making the love connection between me and Craig, which was really cool. I was reaching out saying, hey, I want to start a Wild Hearthstone podcast. Craig had just started with one episode out. Yeah. And Tell had reached out and said, hey, you two, you talk. So it was really good.
It was awesome.
I remember because you guys used to reach out to us all the time, being like, you guys got more wild content you got to talk about? More wild. And then you guys just decided just to grab the bull by the horns and do it yourself.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember Snakes and Drakes?
Yeah.
How could you forget? Yeah. Hey, by the way, Tell just had his baby, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, little baby girl.
Big congrats, Tell. If you're listening, which you probably not, but
yeah. Got the boy girl dream. So good for him.
Wow.
Very cool. Well, that's exciting. So I know you guys you're not doing the show anymore. I know kind of life gets in the way. I think you got married since we last talked to you, right? So
yeah.
What has it been, like a year now or something, probably, right? But congrats.
About almost a year and a half.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it's been cool. Definitely enjoying it.
For those of our guests or listeners who aren't as familiar with you, could you give maybe a little bit of background about yourself and kind of how you started playing? I know you play a lot of the different formats, but I know you also have kind of a background with, I don't know what the word is, but is it like gambling, for lack of a better term, right? But I think that there's a lot of
Sure.
Maybe science or the RNG kind of aspect that you're very, I would consider you an expert in.
Yeah. So basically I started playing Hearthstone because of a friend at my job brought it up to me. I work in an online casino. And prior to that, I had done a lot of, poker, whether that's brick and mortar in a casino and online poker as well. So I'm used to that sort of card games. In terms of traditional TCGs, Hearthstone was my first. But if it wasn't for the poker aspect, I probably would have never heard of Hearthstone since my friend brought it up, who also played poker. He's like, hey, you should try this Hearthstone game out. I'm like, oh, that's like the World of Warcraft thing? Like, I've never touched that. He's like, no, it's way different. I'm like, I don't know anything about it. You don't need to know anything about it. So I jumped on. I played with them for a little while, played some one-on-ones, and I was like, wow, this is actually kind of fun. I like the UI. I like the way how user-friendly it was. And then from there, I think this was like during, like right before Goblins versus Gnomes came out, like between Reminisce and Goblins versus Gnomes. So it's been, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
And I played like one deck. I played one deck for like 2 years. and that was like mid-range paladin.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was I saw it from God. Why is he escaping my mind? One of the big streamers. He was streaming mid-range paladin. He actually found the initial list with like quartermasters and muster for battles, and he hit high ranks with it. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now.
Oh God, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. He used to stream Hearthstone a lot, but he doesn't as much anymore. Maybe he'll come back to me. But anyways, like I copied his list. I remember initially I was building like a freeze mage list for the longest time, trying to save up to make a freeze mage list. But then I realized it really wasn't my style, which is funny because it would be my style today. But I was like, okay, I want to play this mid-range deck, and I built everything. I disenchanted every class and made a mid-range paladin deck, and just played paladin for I don't know how many. It's the first time I hit legend was with mid-range paladin. I remember I learned everything I needed to know from either Twitch streams and this poker forum. I don't know if you heard 2+2 forums. It's like a online poker. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like an online gambling forum online where people talk about poker and stuff. But there's like a sub category for TCGs and stuff, and Hearthstone was one of them. So a bunch of poker players were talking about this game, and we would go back and forth on different deck lists there. And I wasn't big on Twitter yet then, and so I hit legend for the first time with that. Ended up finishing like top 100 with like it's a secret paladin list, and then that's when Tell reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to come on the podcast as a guest?" This is back when him and Steve were doing it, and then we can talk about your list. And so I went on as a guest, talked about the Secret Paladin list, and from there they invited me back, and then they asked me to be a permanent co-host, and that's when I started doing Top Deck Kings on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. It was a strategy podcast where I'd basically go over deck lists and how to mulligan, how to play it. And me and Tell, when it was me and Tell, it was more laid back, more chill, probably a lot funnier. And then Tell eventually had his baby, and I took it over as a solo podcast, and I was doing that for maybe almost a year and a half, 2 years. But as you guys know, podcasts take a lot of work, and doing it solo can be draining, especially if you're trying to fill an hour and a half of time by yourself.
Yeah. Episode 1 of Into the Wild was solo, and it took one episode for me to realize I need a co-host because there's no way I'm doing show. Like, I just babbled for the whole thing, and I'm like, I have to do a lot of show prep. I'm not doing that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's funny.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I think people don't realize how much work is involved in setting all this stuff up. It's like, okay, it's not just us getting on here and chatting for 2 hours. It's like, what are we going to talk about? Are we going to do it live? Are we going to record it? What decks? Are we going to have a guest? When are they available? Time zones are kind of a nightmare sometimes. Doing the artwork and all that. We've been trying to do a new song each week. And that's been
successfully so far.
Yeah. So we have a couple in the bank.
Hey, a lot of people look forward to that. They're
that's the best part. That's why they're at the end. So you gotta listen to us chat for a couple hours first. But
right.
I miss Top Deck Kings. No pressure. I know that it's probably too much, but I so missed the show when it was you and Tal. It was incredible. Like. That's the first podcast that I got super invested in, to the point like Tal hasn't talked about Hearthstone I don't know how long, but I'm still chatting with him quite often just because of how much I listened. And then your show went by itself was so good. I remember when you brought it into with the purple logo, that was when I was like, this show just got professional, it was so good. And your intro was so good. I just loved that show. I understand why you don't do it. Even I am upset because I was kind of out of the community for a few months when you relaunched it. So I got to hear all your episodes backlogged when you came back like the second time around, and then right when I caught up, it's like, all right, I'm done. And I'm like, oh, fair enough, KremePuff. Destroy my dreams.
It was good. It was good for me too, in the sense that like it made me think very critically about decks and critically about mulligans and how to play and strategize and things like that. I think I was a better player then, just because I had to be. I don't know. Right now, I've kind of veered towards playing mostly wild these days. I used to do both. I still I still do both, but I primarily play WoW for sure on all 3 servers. And I think now with the Demon Hunter class coming out, I've been playing actually more standard these last few days.
Yeah, this is interesting. I think you made a good point though, where you were saying that you have to get better, and I think that as like hosting a show, there's sort of an obligation to be good at what you're talking about, right?
Well, for the type of show I was doing, it was very analytical. At least when Tell left, and it was just me.
Yeah,
and I was doing just more deck. I mean, you don't have to be.
No, that's true,
player,
but I think you get bonus points, right? One of the things that was interesting for us is like we both started, and it was like the goal of the show, the mission is like we need to hit legend. We have to do it. How do you all do it? Like I was so desperate that like I just mentally was in such a funky place with I've been trying and nothing's working. And what is this? How can you guys make it look so easy? And we got there. Both Craig and I got there relatively quick. I think we took all these like professional players and just sucked everybody's advice up, and that was a lot of fun. And so,
well, you did it before the ladder changes too, so it's even more legit.
Well, this time, I think we both first hit. What was it? God, 2 years ago now, right? For the first time,
we both hit before. We actually
before
hit
rank floors too.
Oh, I think so.
Yes, it was. It was the month before rank floors.
God, what a bunch of craziness that was.
That was tough. That was when it was really hard. You got reset to, even if you're a legend, you got reset to 16, 17.
Yeah.
No rank floors.
Yeah. I remember I was really happy. I was really happy that we hit legend before that change. Not that it still feels just as good now to hit legend, I guess, but it was still nice to be able to say we made it right before the change came into effect.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, it's such a grind like that, and you put in so many hours on the ladder, and you finally hit that final boss and win. It's such a relief.
I'll tell you that little orange hexagon by your name, like it just does not get old. It's great. So
yeah, Nate, you kind of scoffed right over the fact that you got legend. Like, no big deal, hit legend pretty early in the month this time. It's like, dude, this is the first time you hit legend in like how long? I'm still grinding to try to hit it. So don't underplay that. That's awesome, buddy.
Yeah, so I was playing a lot before the new cards came out, and I hit legend on day 4 of the season, which is just unheard of.
Very cool.
I used the Quest Mage up until rank 1, was hitting a whole just patch of like super hard aggro Pirate Warrior and Kingsbane Rogue, and so I switched over to Memnarch's Reno Priest and just sailed through, just destroyed the aggro. It was just a pocket meta, and so you have to make that call, right? I mean,
Quest Mage. You dodged all the Quest Mages.
I did. I dodged 3 in a row. My final boss was a mage, and I was like, no, but it was secret. It was a secret mage.
Oh, good.
And they were not playing super good, and was able to take it through. So that was good. It was good.
Nice.
I got to my final boss yesterday. I've only got to the final boss once this month, and I got so frustrated. I was playing discard warlock most of the way up, and I just drew the wrong. It's such a frustrating deck at points, because like sometimes you'll find yourself like, just from randomness, you'll be fatigued by like turn 6. And it's just because you keep accidentally discarding the skull of Gul'dan or what is it? I forget what it is, but it's frustrating.
I purposely let some of those disco locks like fatigue themselves as mage and leave their imps up on board too. Like I think the last match I played, I was playing Reno Quest Mage, and they had the 2 of the imps that draw cards on the board, and they kept just like cycling and burning cards, and they filled their board with a bunch of tokens, and I ended up winning that match. But yeah, that deck cycles fast now.
Yeah, it's insane. If there's some way to like, I'm not sure what you would do, but if there was a way to work a combo into it, you can get through that deck really quick. Like if you have a half decent draw, you can be through your deck before turn 6. Like. It's pretty nuts. Astrals is playing. We'll talk about it later, but there's a version with Cataclysm in it, and that's super fun.
Nice.
Just for like a weird blowout finisher.
It's fun to play right now when the meta is so unrefined. Everything is very up in the air, and so you can kind of play whatever. Day 1 it was Demon Hunter, but people are starting to branch out a little bit more, and nothing is refined quite yet. So this is kind of the fun times. I do think
Quest Mage is taking a bit of a backseat from all the aggro though, which is nice.
Right, and I think that's all the people who were complaining about Demon Hunter is too strong, it's too aggressive. I'm like, well, we needed an aggressive deck because people were complaining about the Quest Mages. You know, there's all this balance kind of circle of life type of things where the combo and the aggro and the you know, the different decks have to I don't know, there has to be a balance, otherwise things get out of whack. So
I mean, people complain no matter what. If it's rock paper scissors meta, they're like, "Oh, I gotta just find my matchups, and then that's how I win." Or if it's just one powerful deck, then they're gonna complain about that one. It's. I mean, I'd agree. Demon Hunter was overtuned.
No, that's true.
But you know, I guess we can talk about it in a bit.
It's got to be really hard from a developer standpoint where you're making something new. It's got to be good enough so that people want to play it. Because if you make it bad, no one's going to want to play it. But if you make it too good, then everyone's going to play it. I was a little bit skeptical when I saw the win rate is 70% or whatever crazy number it was. And it was like, look, it's been out one day and every single person is playing the same deck, you know, or some variation of the same deck. So of course the numbers are going to be off. But
I don't know, man. It was busted on day one.
I mean, I agree. I think that the balance changes were fine. They were needed. I will say they were needed because the deck was overtuned.
Well, people are calling for more balance changes on that deck too.
Yeah,
I'm
especially I think in Wild we're okay, but in Standard I climbed to Diamond 8 in less than 15-20 games just playing Demon Hunter because it's just gross. If you face off against someone who's not a Demon Hunter and not a Warlock targeting it, you pretty much just win.
Yeah. I think the Priest Resless is pretty good against it too. I think Druid is actually really good.
I've been playing.
I think there's a couple counters to that deck.
There is. I mean, it's very, very aggressive, and so if you can get a lot of armor or a lot of board clears, they can stall out or they can draw too much. I'm sitting at rank 4 diamond in Standard right now. Ridiculous Hat challenged me to try to do a double legend, so I'm going for it. We'll see.
Yeah, you should.
Nice.
Did you see the Zephyrus combo that you can do with Demon Hunter? We totally called it too on I forget when we called it. Maybe it was last week or maybe it was the set review.
It was on the set review show where you pulled Doomhammer from Zephyrs and just insanely.
Or you either pull Doomhammer or you can get Doomhammer by playing Zephyrus on turn 7, and then you get Inner Demon, and Inner Demon just swings for 20 out of nowhere.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
I think about that. One
of our friends, Silent Nick, over in Italy, he got it on video. It's on his Twitter if you want to see it, but it's pretty gross.
It's pretty funny.
It's hilarious, yeah.
And did you start with 11 bonus stars when you started climbing, or you at 10 or 9?
I started with 10.
That's a lot harder. That's a lot harder.
Yeah, so we didn't get the bonus. Like Memnarch was saying last week that he got the bonus stars all the way through Legend. Where we didn't, but still, I think that 15 stars is easier than 25, right?
It's still hard.
No, because if you start off with 11, and it was weird because I had hit Legend all 3 servers last month, and one of the servers I didn't get the 11th bonus star. I got it on the other 2, but not one of them. So I was a little bit confused about that, and it does make a huge difference because when you get to rank 5 diamond, you still get 2 stars per win.
Well, yeah, I'd be Legend 3 times by now.
Yeah, so basically you can win 1, lose 1, and you'll get to Legend pretty easy at a 50% win rate. So it's a big difference if you start with 11 or 10. So if you started with 10, it's a little bit more of a grind from 5 on.
Yeah, so. It still was. I mean, you have to have a good win rate. I mean,
it has to be over 50%. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
I will say, it's still a grind. It's just not as bad of a grind.
Well, there's almost 1,100 wild legends on NA already.
It's crazy. So when I hit, I landed at 212 when I hit on day 4, and I went overnight came back and I was at 3 something, and then the next day I'm at 4 something, and now I'm sitting at like 800 something because I've been playing.
Oh, yeah. Decay is crazy.
Oh, the decay is nuts. I've been playing standard, and so I'm trying to jam through there. And my wild rank is just terrible. One of the things that I really like is this. I think is just kind of the mental aspect of it. Is that now on the climb up, I see my rank, but I don't see anyone else's rank until I hit legend. And then it was crazy because I'm sitting in like dumpster legend, and I'm facing off against rank 7 players. It's just crazy.
Yeah, well, what is it? Shia? I never know how to pronounce his name. Shia Wasina or something like that.
Ooh, I don't know.
I know
what
you're talking about. Right? Yeah.
My first game of the month, he had just hit rank 1 legend. With what was it?
That was fast.
I don't know I don't remember what deck it was. He hit rank 1 legend. My first game, I was like, whatever the bottom level was against him, but I didn't know he was rank 1 legend, and so he added me afterward. And he's like, I bet that was a good first game. And I was like, what? Because he could see my rank, I couldn't see his.
Right.
So the hidden MMR is a little nuts. I think it's good in the sense if you have ladder anxiety, it's probably something that helps. A lot of people out there, because you're not going to see what their rank is, and if you knew right away that you're facing off against legend players before you're a legend, it might add a little bit more anxiety to
Craig, it's time to put our legend card back on.
Why is it that sometimes you see the rank and sometimes you don't?
You only see it as legend.
Yeah, you see it once you hit legend, then you see their rank.
Gotcha. That's frustrating. The other day, I think it makes sense though, because I think a lot of legend players would probably do that thing where you let the person win if they're like rank 1. Like I know I do that a lot. So then I'd be, it would probably be abusable a little bit.
That reminds me. Do you remember Tell saying like when he was trying to grind for his golden heroes, that he would purposefully lose 20 games in a row to like get all the way back to rank 20. So
he did that with Mage, I think.
so that he could win streak back up and win real easy.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Do you remember Salty? Remember Salty from the show? Oh. It was like OG Top Deck Kings. Like the first 5 episodes of the show, Salty was their 3rd co-host.
Oh, okay. No, I don't remember that.
I probably heard it, but I don't remember.
He was the rager on the show. And he played so much Hearthstone, but he would concede all the way down. If he lost 2 games in a row, he'd be screw it, and he would just concede as far as he could all the way down just to rage do it. And that was kind of funny. I faced him on ladder a few times too, and you knew as soon as he insta conceded, you knew he was on a bender.
I know me and Astrals have a similar MMR because we were facing each other on the climb up to legend the other day. And it was funny, we were both playing discard locks. It was an interesting game, to say the least.
It was hilarious. He didn't realize. I'm sitting here eating my lunch at the computer. I was spectating Astrals because I had stuff going on one screen, and I was spectating Hearthstone on the other screen. And I was watching Astrals, and he queued into Craig, and I was like, "Oh my god!" it's Sky,
I was loud. I noticed.
It's Sky Captain Craig, and he's like, "Oh my god, you're right." That was funny. It was funny.
Wait, who won that game? I can't remember.
You did. Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah,
Astrals was laughing because he goes, "Hey, Craig's using the deck that I made," and he beat me with it.
It was his old list too.
Right.
I think I saw Craig with Q into Rod. That was pretty funny.
Q into who?
Rod.
Oh no! Don't talk about that. Cut that out of the show. I'm just kidding.
I laughed. I thought it was funny.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Oops. It's a long story. Let's just say me and Rod were arguing a bit after that one. Love you, Rod.
Classic Rod. You gotta love his stream.
I do love him. He gets so mad, but he is a lot of fun. Check out Tier 5, everyone.
Sniper, no sniping.
Exactly. And don't stream snipe, folks. Even if you're trying to be funny.
Well, if you're gonna snipe, be as overt as you were. Like, hey, what's up? I'm here.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm sniping you with a deck you hate. He didn't believe me. Okay. Anyway.
Sorry to be.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
it's fun. It's fine.
Oh,
Sorry,
God.
Rod Johnson,
We
tier
love
5.
you. Yes, we love you. So you guys want to talk about the nerfs at all?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let me put them up on the screen. Here's the first batch was the I-beam went from costing 0 on Outcast to costing 1.
I hate that nerf. Can I tell you, I really hate the way that Outcast, like the way that card interacts with the skull. So if you draw that and then it ends up on the outside of your hand, it doesn't cost 0, even though you reduced it by 3. You know, like the one over the Outcast trigger over, like it replaces the 0 cost part. You know what I mean? I don't like it at all, but I understand it. I just don't like it.
Well, I mean, I think we've experienced, right? Anytime something costs 0, there's potential for things to be problematic.
Oh, for sure.
But
and like I understand why I need to get nerfed. I just really dislike that when you draw it off of skull and it's supposed to cost 0 and then it ends up costing 1.
Yeah.
On the outside of your hand. But that's a good nerf.
It's true. I think everyone knew Skull of Gul'dan was going to get nerfed like right away, especially because I think Demon Hunter in general runs all these low cost cards. And so generally, like, it's draw 3. It almost reminds me of playing Alex Draza because you draw 3 cards and they all cost 0. It's like, cool.
I saw Zalay talk about that card when he was doing his card. Just how hysterical he was when he was talking about it. He's like, I can't believe this card exists. Like, he was just because I mean, you look at Nourish, right? Nourish was the one that was that most druids run. It's now at 6 mana. Unless you have the quest going on, you have to choose between either ramping or drawing 3 cards with it. Costs 1 less, and you're essentially ramping because you're discounting every card that you're drawing to 1 turn earlier.
It's like ramping on steroids, you know? Like, insane.
Yeah. And if you're playing the Kael'thas version too, you're probably discounting some combo pieces along with it. It's just a solid card, and even now that it's nerfed, it's still like an auto include.
I'm still playing it.
I pulled.
Like, you still almost want to play it in Odd Demon Hunter, almost.
I pulled 2 golden copies, so I'm.
It's
I'm
nice
happy,
that they almost accidentally fixed. I wonder if that nerf, like, do you think it's just a coincidence that they fixed the glitch with Odd Demon Hunter by doing that, or do you think that was kind of like, well, this kills 2 birds, 1 stone?
What do you mean? What's the fix?
Well, before go ahead, KremePuff.
No, so basically, if you're playing Odd Demon Hunter in Wild, and you drew I-Beam in your left or rightmost hand, it would take the trigger away, so you wouldn't have the upgraded hero power if you had it in your mulligan.
Oh,
because it would think it's even.
Oh,
I was confused because I saw Corbett's list, and that was when I was first trying out Demon Hunter in Wild, and I was like, oh sweet, so I built it real quick. I got on ladder, and then my hero didn't trigger, and I was so confused. I was like, did I forget to put Baku in my deck? And then I thought Corbett was like,
was trolling
us and gave us like a deck code that didn't have Baku, like on purpose. And I was like, oh, what the heck happened? And then I went back and I'm going through the list, and I'm like, oh, no, Baku's in there. Is there an even card in there? I'm going up and down. What's the issue? And I was so frustrated. And then eventually I figured it out. But going in, I think I went to Corbett's stream. I was like, what's the deal with your list? And he's like, oh, yeah, this is going on. But yeah, it was a weird bug.
For sure. It was funny though. People are in Discord like, oh, my opponent had this, but and they're just like, oh, he deserved it. You know, like he deserved to get screwed.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What do you think about the Warblades? So Warblades, what was it? A 3 mana 2/3 with lifesteal, and it's now a 2/2.
Still a decent card, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that the nerfs didn't make the class unplayable. I mean, I think they've been better with the nerfs, but when they first started really nerfing cards, like they would nerf them into unplayability.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that anymore. It's just a little bit weaker, but they'll still see play. I mean, all of these still see play, right? When there's one more, it's the Imprisoned Antian, which we all thought that the imprisoned cards, the dormant cards, were going to suck, but this one I think is actually pretty good. Especially if you can keep the board cleared, it's just 10 damage to face. This is pretty nuts. So what is it? It's 6 now. What did it used to be? 5?
Yeah, it used to be 5. I think that card's not good enough, at least for Wild, anymore. I wasn't playing it in my original list either, though, in Wild.
No, this is for standard, I think. But I don't know. It's interesting. I don't have any real issue with the nerves.
Yeah, I mean, they basically are looking at the class and trying to figure out what its weaknesses and strengths are, and you have to sort of tackle. So they tackle the lifesteal aspect of it with I-beam and the weapon, and then having just an overpowered 5-drop is something they have to tackle too. Because the deck was good at everything. You can heal. Had a very Kingsbane Rogue, old school Kingsbane Rogue feel, where like you'd be so low on life, but then you have the lifesteal weapon, and you just heal all the way back up and attack face, and then plus, I mean, I guess if we're talking about possible future nerfs with the class, a lot of people have been bringing up the legendary that everybody got for free, which is the 3/2 Ultras.
Very good.
Oh, that card is bananas. Yeah, that's really you can have get full board clear relatively easy, and the fact that it hits heroes as well is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's like a knife juggler on steroids, which is pretty nuts for a card like that. So to be able to deal with wide boards, to be able to heal up, to be able to do face damage, the class right now can do a little bit of everything. And I think the other card that people are talking about is the 7-mana demon priestess.
Oh, that does 6 damage at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
That card is crazy too.
It gets destroyed by Sack Pack pretty bad in standard for sure.
The entire class gets destroyed by Sack Pack.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how long is it? How long is it before Sack Pack gets Hall of Famed? Is my question. Like, I mean, I don't know. Not that changes anything for Wild, but like, I was raging so hard yesterday in standard playing. And the warlocks, the Galakron warlocks with the dragons and stuff are just... I dropped some giant demon and kill it for 0 mana, gain 5 health. It's like, oh man.
I mean, it's tough when a tech card is only in one class. It makes it kind of irritating because that's the go-to deck that everybody's going to want to play to hard counter Demon Hunter. And you usually like to see neutral tech cards as opposed to one class.
Yeah.
It's that first, yeah, it's true.
If they ever do Hall of Fame Sack Pack, then Lord Draxus might be playable again in standard at least.
True. But I mean, I think the nerfs are fine overall. I hope they don't nerf anymore. If they're going to do any more nerfs, they should probably look at Kael'thas and not any more Demon Hunter cards.
I think that Kael'thas would be fine if they said your third spell each turn or something instead of 3 infinite. Or every third infinite, like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. The deck.
They seem to like it, considering this week's Tavern Brawl is literally Kael'thas Tavern Brawl.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that playing the Kael'thas deck is not super easy. Some of it, it's skill intensive. So I don't know. I've only gone up against that deck a handful of times, and I've always won. And I think that. It's been very close, but it's draw dependent and it's skill dependent. And if you don't have both of those things going for you, then, you don't win. So
yeah, I don't have too much of a problem with the Demon Hunter combo in general. I think if you're just looking at Kael'thas as a card, there's many decks that are taking advantage of the mana cheat that it does. Obviously in Wild, you look at Druid and what it can do with that card. It's pretty insane. And even the standard Druid that's running more of the token variant, you're seeing them jam Kael'thas. I think their turns are actually a lot nastier than what Demon Hunter is able to do. Because the thing with Demon Hunter is that you have that weird conundrum of like, should I have it lowered in the curve so my outcast cards aren't as like dead if you get locked out? Because you get the expensive cards in your left and right hand of your hand, then you're not able to play that. You float a ton of mana with the deck sometimes. So I don't know.
What do you think about the outcast mechanic in general? I mean, I
love it. Yeah. It's one of my favorite mechanics they've ever done. Like,
oh yeah, it's very good.
Just thinking about like how you mulligan. Like, okay, is this a matchup where I can keep Skull in my left part of my hand right at the get go? Even though that Watcher card is sweet. Mm-hmm. You can set up really cool turns where you can get your spectral sights, on the left hand or the right hand most of your. Or for your next draw or draw into your Skull to then set up your outcast cards that way. Even the 1 mana 2/1, that's basically like a Kobold for Demon Hunter without the negative effect. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously I don't know. There's just it makes you think about your turns a little bit more than just like, okay, it's a 2-mana card, I'm going to play it. A 3-mana card, I'm going to play it. You also have to set up like, well, if I play one on the right hand or on the left hand right now, it sets up for Skull of Gul'dan because it's 2 to the right. So just like knowing how your hand's going to progress over multiple turns makes you think about it, and I think that's a really cool mechanic.
Yeah, I like it. It really forces you to just think a lot more. You don't just play on curve. You have to plan ahead a little bit, and I like that.
Yeah.
And now that we have Scry in Hearthstone via the little
Yeah,
watcher
but
guy, which is
no one's playing it.
I'm playing it.
You shouldn't.
What's Scry?
It's from Magic the Gathering, where you look at these 3 cards and figure out which one you're going to put on the top of your deck. So you can plan your next turn in advance. I like it. So.
I love that card.
You guys love that card. I think you guys are insane.
No, that card's so good.
Insanely good.
Insanely bad
looking.
It helps you set. It helps. I don't know how it is in Wild.
I don't know. In Wild, I mean, I went 8-1 with a Highlander list in Standard, and I was running it because it made sense. Like it fits with the rest of the stuff. In Wild, In Wild is another story, right? I don't think it might not be good enough.
I think when you're not drawing a card, it just doesn't seem that great to me. But maybe I'm underestimating it.
Well, it's tracking on a body, except you don't discard, right?
No, it's not. Tracking is way better. Way better.
I know you don't draw it, right? You draw it next turn, but it lets you plan. So
tracking if you didn't get a card out of it.
I mean, it's a 3/2 body, and depending on how you're planning your mana curve, to where you're trying to make sure you utilize all your mana every turn, having a 3/2 that sets you up for future tunes can be really good, especially if you're trying to set up outcast cards too. If you haven't drawn your Skull yet, if you haven't drawn your Spectral Sideshed or your 2/1 draw, you can set it up to where you can cycle through your deck a little bit more efficiently. I also run the 4-mana 4/4 that discounts your demons by 2. Just so I can set up for early Priestess turns, or if I want to tempo out the 3/2 for free on turn 4, I can do that as well as I set up my turn 5 for like a Warglades. So it's just how you use it. I think, in and of itself, I mean, if you compare it to tracking, it's a lot different because tracking thins your deck of the bad cards.
Right.
But I think of it as just a completely different mechanic in the right kind of build.
Yeah, I don't think you can compare it to tracking as much as you could compare it to any other card. Like I understand that they're kind of similar, but the outcome is totally different. Where tracking gets you a card that you need right now. This card's a card like maybe I'll need it next turn.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I can understand why you like the card.
It would be way less good in a different class.
It's true.
It's just because of the outcast mechanic. That's what makes it as good as it is. Because you can. That's the whole point. You're setting it up for your future, maybe outcast cards that you can draw off the top.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that either. That's smart.
Yeah. So,
anyways, I'm having fun with it. I mean, I saw Tyler Root is doing his race to. Race to 1,000 wins with Demon Hunter, right?
Yeah.
I don't. What's the prize? Is it a giant TV or something like that? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to do it since now I'm unemployed. So why not?
You guys better watch out. I'm at like 27.
I'm at like 20, I think.
I think I hit 57 today.
First prize is $200 and 60 packs.
Is there actually a prize?
Yeah.
Who's doing this?
I think it's Tyler Rood.
So do you have to like sign up through his like?
I don't know.
Okay.
Check out his Twitter or his stream or whatever. But yeah, no, there's a contest going.
Interesting.
I don't know if there's an official sign up. I mean, you have to prove it somehow, right? You've got to be in his Discord and play games with the deck tracker on. Is what we're being told. So.
Well, I could never get that because I play on my phone a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I'm strictly mobile too.
And I'll never hit 1,000 wins with. I haven't hit 1,000 wins with any of the classes yet, so I don't think I'm gonna fly there with Demon Hunter.
What is your your closest one?
My closest one is probably Druid at like 950, and then I have a bunch at 800, 900. But I just play all the classes except for Rogue. Essentially, I have like 400 and 400 wins with Rogue probably, and everything else is in the 5, 6, 700s, 800s, 900s.
Don't tell Ridiculous Hat that.
That's the thing. I like Rogue. I'm just so bad with it that they're mostly losses, right? So I probably played the same amount of games. I just don't win them.
Yeah.
Rogue, I never really have the urge to play. The one deck that I played a ton of was Quest Rogue back in the day, but nowadays, very rarely will I open up my Rogue collection.
I started
Quest Rogue. I love that deck. One of my favorite decks ever.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a theory craft in Wild of a Quest Rogue that looked really fun. I've been experimenting with Corbett's Secret Rogue, which is really interesting.
I'd like to try that.
I don't want to say that it's good, but it's definitely fun. Some of the cards are strong though, so.
Yeah, that 1/2 who like basically saps you back, or it's like a freezing trap.
Yeah, that card is nuts.
It's crazy.
Freezing sap.
Yeah, it's crazy. That card's
I forget who I stole that from.
I think their secret's really the bamboozle secret's pretty crazy too.
To increase it by 3? Yeah. Oh, it's crazy.
It's so annoying to play against.
The only frustrating thing is that everybody knows that it's bamboozle, and so they just attack your face instead.
Yeah, but it's so tempting though. Like you have a weapon up and you're trying to protect your minions, and you're like, oh, like what am I gonna do? But yeah, that's a nutty card.
So I have a couple lists here, to kind of go over. There's not a whole lot of news really, but I thought, hey, what have other people been playing this week that we could share or talk about or whatever? The meta is so fresh that nothing is refined yet, but here's kind of what we saw. So our buddy Astral's Flame has been playing Discard Warlock, hit Legend with it yesterday.
I love this deck.
It's so fun. I love the quest. It's too slow. I think a lot of people feel like it's too slow, like it's a tempo loss on turn 1.
Yeah.
But like, God, I just love it.
Oh wait, Astro's playing the quest?
No, he's not. Oh. He said after he
Yeah.
hit Legend, he was going to try to come up with a version that included the quest just to
What does the quest do again? I don't even remember.
After you discard 6 cards and you play the quest, you have a portal that summons 2 3/2 demons at the end of each turn.
Oh yeah, that seems bad.
I don't know. I like it for endgame though, because you can. I don't know. Just if I think with this deck, sometimes if the games go long, you run out of cards.
Literally, you go into fatigue.
Yeah, I mean, at least this gets you. It gets you stuff on board that you can run into other minions and not worry about, like, they come back next turn. But
it's a really cool deck because like it is one of the only aggro decks where you're not running out of cards in hand almost ever. It's very rare that you're running out of resources in hand. You literally just burn your deck, and then it's like, okay, I have 8 cards left in my deck. Can I still win this game? And usually the answer is like no, or it's just barely. It's never like I'm gonna crush them. It's just always close. I really like it though. I'm really hoping this is the deck I hit Legend with this month.
I like that it's so fast that like you either win quickly or you lose quickly, but like it's not one of these 20-minute matches. There's nothing like playing a game for 20 minutes and then losing. It's like, wow, that's 20 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
Yeah, you'll get the odd long game with it, like against a priest sometimes, but usually it's like you can kind of concede when you realize there's nothing to do. The only reason it's hard to concede is because Cataclysm is so like insane in this matchup where you can clear the board, deal like 8 damage to their face with Fist of Jiraxis and leave some silverware golems behind. So like sometimes you want to at least try, but it's super cool. The hand of Gul'dan, the 6 mana when you discard this, draw 3 is just nutty butter bar. Like that's an incredible card.
Yeah. Oh, hey, for the people who are listening via podcast, I'll post the deck lists with the show notes or whatever. We'll share them that way.
Yeah, you'll get them.
So who else? That was fun. And then our good friend Blue Train hit Legend for the first time, which is really exciting.
Yay.
So
Yay, Blue Train.
Yeah, congrats, dude. I think that's very cool. So he hit with Even Hunter. I saw Danny hit Legend with Even Hunter as well. I'm not quite sure how the 2 versions compare, but but here's his version here, which is really exciting. It's always a good feeling, right?
So its new tools it got in this one was pack tactics, right?
Yeah, pack tactics are just just absurd, especially. I mean, it's a huge tempo swing. We've talked about putting it in a couple lists. I know there's a few of us working on like egg hunter lists because making a 3/3 copy of anything Death Rattle. I know I was spectating EK for a while yesterday, and he was trying to make it work. The problem is like Quest Mage is just better, but it's a very aggressive deck. It goes very fast. I mean, I have barely played it, so I'm not hardly an expert on it, but very excited for our friend here.
So like a turn 3 coin, like face stalker into hero power into pack tactics. It's like the uber nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because then they're trying to kill your face stalker, and if they try to attack it, then coming a 3/3 copy of the same one. Is that pack tactic? No, is it a copy?
It's a 3/3 copy.
Yeah, that's right. And so they have to deal with 2 of them. If not, they're going to continue to get value off their hero power from the face stalker. Like that interaction is just annoying. Yeah, and I guess it's too fast to run the Death Knight, huh? Because I mean, Call of the Wild's kind of pushing it already. But
yeah, I think.
I wonder if you could. Sorry, I wonder if you could run the Death Knight instead of Call of the Wilds. It's possible.
Well, I think Duin was saying that you use Deathstalker Rexar as like a draw engine if you need to, or a board clear if you need to. So I've seen some people running it.
Well, yeah, I was thinking the 10 mana one, not necessarily Deathstalker Rexar.
Oh, Zul'jin.
Zul'jin, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get your secrets back for sure.
And then you get the Call of the Wild guys back.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing, right? The meta is so fresh. I mean, we're literally, 3-4 days in that none of these lists are what I would call refined.
Yeah.
So,
although it might be too slow. I mean, you're probably trying to kill him way before then anyway.
Yeah. It's not. I don't feel like it's bad to have as like a finisher just in case. You're going up against a slower deck, yeah,
for sure.
But that's cool. Let me see what else I have seen here. Our buddy Keith Numbers hit legend with an aggro demon hunter. Was not, and he said it was post nerf.
Get Me Out is playing a version that's post nerf still, and it's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pirate version. I mean, you just hit face over and over and kill your opponent.
The version that Get Me Out is playing isn't playing as many pirates. It's only playing the 2 blood sails and the patches, which I prefer. I don't like. And don't get me wrong, this deck is strong. I just hate ships cannons decks they're just so boring. I find like I do enjoy them in Warrior for whatever reason. Like that's one place where I like a good ships cannon. But when you put it in Rogue, and when you put it in Paladin, when you put it in Death Hunter or Demon Hunter, I'm like, get out of here with that.
You're gonna make Astral Flame cry. Don't do that.
Oh, Astral don't mind. Astral, you toughen up.
I like Pirate Rogue. I like Pirate Rogue, but I feel you. I mean, I think that almost any deck you can grab the whole like pirate package and like jam it in the low end of the deck and fill the rest with aggressive stuff. I don't know. I'm surprised he's not running the legendary what is it, Kane Sunfury in this deck, the one that avoids taunt. Like he's just not running it. But it must be fast. I don't know. I like more, for me personally, I like more mid-rangey style decks. So it's not my jam. But it's cool. It's nice to see what's out there. And I get tilted so hard when I play aggro, go face with everything, couple board clears, and then I'm sitting here top decking. Top deck my ship's cannon. Oh, great.
Yeah, that's why I don't play as much aggro too, because I hate the feeling. Just like, okay, well, I guess I concede.
Right? I mean, the games are fast, if you're trying for that, but it's a fast win or a fast lose.
It's just perfect if you're trying to grind that 1,000 win hero portrait.
Well, that's true. That's
me.
So and then the other list that I was looking at, and I haven't played it, but I've got a soft spot for Katharina Winterwisp, is this list from Petalol. It's like a secret giant beast hunter. It's really interesting. So the low end has got Mad Scientist and a bunch of secrets. The top end has got Sylvanist, Beastmaster, Lorax, Charged Devilsaur, Katharina, King Crush, and Undasta. So I mean, I don't know if it's too slow, but they hit legend with it, so can't be that bad.
I'd like to try this deck too. I really want to try the Even Hunter, and I want to try this deck. The Even Hunter, I didn't love it last expansion. I don't know, maybe it's just because of that aggro thing we were just talking about, where sometimes it's frustrating to run out of resources. But I do really love that guy who pulls secrets out of your deck, Face Stalker.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to try that now. This is going to be a fun. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to lie. I've been a little frustrated because I've been really trying to hit legend, especially. It's nothing against Nate, but when Nate hit legend, I said, well, now I have to as well. So now I've been trying to hit it, so I haven't been able to play as much fun stuff, except Disco Lock is so fun and pretty good that's what I refuse to stop playing, and I've been playing all day, all night, and still not getting there. So you guys wish me luck.
Hey, you got what, like 19 more days left or something like that?
You've got plenty of time, yeah.
21.
Well, that's how it was when you hit legend in standard. I was like, oh god, no, I gotta do it.
Yeah, that's true. And I did laugh at you the other week too. I said I just hit legend in standard, so I kind of hit legend twice, and Nate's only hit once. And Nate's like, "Oh yeah, Craig."
It was weird though. Like I don't know. It was like the mindset, right? I kind of got myself into this trance. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and do it, and you just keep hitting play, and jam through. I mean, I don't know. It was interesting, but
yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So I've got the ones that you sent me, Craig, that you've been playing. So, the other version of the Discard Warlock.
Well, I think I sent you Astro's version.
Oh, did you? Is it the same? That's funny. Okay. I thought because Astro's. My understanding is that he made two, right? There was.
Oh yes. Okay, so I was playing Astro's old version. Is this it or no?
No, this is the one that you sent me. So this is the newer one. The old one was more like a zoo deck, right?
The old one was more zoo. It was playing Frenzied Fellwing. It was playing Flamewake, Flamewalker.
The little imp, the little 1-mana 3/2 imp, right?
Yeah, Flame Imp. Yeah. There we go. But it was similar. It was playing Spellbreaker for its silence, and it didn't have as much. Like it didn't have any of the taunts. It didn't have the life steal legendary. Like it was definitely more aggressive. It was more high rolly. Like it was like you could win games real quick. It was more burst potential, but this deck is definitely more. The one that we're looking at, I think, is just strictly better. Where you have more choices, you have more control over what you're going to discard. I like this deck more than the one I was playing, and the one I was playing was good. I got up to rank 2 with it, but then I switched over to Astro's version, and I got up to rank 1 with it. So
nice.
I feel better.
Okay. What I liked about this version, I spectated him for I don't know, almost an hour while I was eating lunch and hanging out, was that there's tons of refill. There's lots of draw. There's lots of what is it, Princess Jeklik, that you all of a sudden you've got 6 copies in your hand. It's so it's fun. It's pretty crazy. How do
you like the Nightshade card, Nightshade Matron? It's
the
like the
4-mana 5/5.
Yeah,
it's good. It's especially good. Anything that says discard your highest cost card is pretty good because of Hand of Gul'dan or whatever. So I like it a lot. Like once in a while it's awkward, but then it's nice because when it is awkward, you just discard it. So like it's not the worst. Sure. I do like it. It kills secret mages 5/5s, no problem. It kills things from below, no problem. It's definitely not the strongest card in the deck. I think it would get cut if there was more options, but there's not, right? Like you need the redundancy. I like it more than a lot of the other stuff. I think the real MVP though is the 2-mana 2/1. Discard your highest cost card and add 2 copies of it to your hand. I think that's very good.
That's where you keep the gas flowing, right? Because you keep getting Hand of Gul'dan's back.
Well, yeah. Usually, I don't want a Hands of Gul'dan discarder with that because it does get a little hard to manage, depending on the matchup. But like, it gets a little hard to manage it. It's just too much card draw and stuff. But I love that card though. That 2-mana one. Even if you get a Fist of Draxus, you're laughing because that's just 12 damage from a 2-mana card.
Who would have thought that we'd be living in a world where we play Cataclysm in a non-Mecha'thun deck, right?
Right? Yeah, that's crazy. And non-quest deck.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and Cataclysm just wins you games sometimes. Like, if you have 2 Fist of Draxuses, 2 Silverware Golems, like, you just go crazy when you play the Cataclysm.
Yeah.
This deck looks fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And then the other one that you gave me was this aggro Demon Hunter deck. I regret I don't have an odd Demon Hunter deck. I was looking for a good one, but after the nerfs, everything got tweaked a little bit. So
yeah,
maybe next week. I don't know.
Yeah, Corbett had hit rank 1 legend with the pre-nerfed one. That was pretty good, but you don't see that one anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good now without Skull of Gul'dan. I don't know if it's even. It beats the regular Demon Hunters. Like, the odd version almost always beats the regular ones, but it just doesn't feel as good overall to me.
Yeah.
Personally. And I'm an expert. I'm almost legend. I got in big shit because Shokunin, our executive producer, messaged me because I was playing I'm playing Hearthstone right now a little bit, not gonna lie. I'm just so addicted right now. And he goes, are you kidding me? You're recording the show live and playing? I swear I'm barely paying attention to Hearthstone.
Hey, you get bonus points if you hit Legend live on the show.
Exactly. I'm doing research.
Are you rank 1 right now?
I'm ranked 2.2. Maybe anyway, we'll see. I'm gonna hit Legend soon. You guys watch.
Okay.
It feels good to do it again. Like I mean, I would love to be able to start doing it every month again. With the bonus stars, maybe we'll be able to. I don't know. I mean, I'm so super dumpster in Legend that I don't think that I will be getting the 11 stars next time. But you never know. I mean,
yeah. Do you guys know how that works exactly? How do you get the 11 star?
Memnarch was saying that he thought that it was based on some kind of like cumulative MMR, like overall ranking across multiple servers across past seasons, not just the last season, like, or maybe it depends on your finish, like if you finish high legend versus like.
Just to clear that up quick, it's not multiple servers ever.
No, okay,
right? Like,
okay. No,
America,
you're right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, America doesn't care about, or NA doesn't care about Asia, but I think some people have the prediction that it's double legend was enough, but I don't think it is just double legend, like wild and standard legend. I don't think so.
No.
But it seems like it's just the higher your MMR is. Like, if you have a really high MMR, you'll get 11.
Yeah, because I got it on NA and EU, but I didn't get it on Asia. And I hit legend on. So
Were you double legend on all of them?
No, I haven't hit standard legend in like 3 or 4 months. I haven't
Okay, and you got 11 stars without that.
Yeah, I got 11 stars without that on EU and NA, but Asia I didn't.
Huh.
So that's why I was kind of confused. I wasn't sure why. I mean, I have more history on EU and NA, so that makes sense if it goes back several seasons.
Yeah, it might be. It sounded like it was cumulative, but I think a lot of the MMR is hidden. So, and they haven't been super forthcoming with, and that's fine. At least for me, I don't really care about the kind of black magic science behind it. But there's some voodoo going on with their MMR system, but it's fine.
I was actually really surprised that I even got 5-star or 10-star bonus because I was only ranked 3 or something. I thought I was going to be at 9-star bonus, so I was pretty happy about that.
Well, yeah, that was interesting. So last season, like I ended last season, like when the season ended, I was sitting at rank 5. I had hit rank 2, and then like slid all the way back, and still ended up with 10. So I don't know. But then again, if you look at the last few months, it was all rank 2, rank 3, rank 5, like all in between that. So I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like they know who to take care of, These guys give us good press. Let's give them a good rank.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool.
But yeah, overall, KremePuff, how do you feel about the new ranking system?
I like it. I think one of the biggest problems with Wild Ladder was when you hit Legend early, there was no point in playing.
Sit in a queue for 10 minutes.
You sit in a queue for 10 minutes, and you can, like, say I got Legend on third, I would enter in at, like, top 10, top 20, and I can not play the rest of the month and still finish top 50. And the incentive, there's no incentive to play one, was, like you said, the biggest thing is the queue times. You can sit in queue for 5 to 10 minutes, and it's just not worth doing. So you end up jumping on other servers. That's the only reason why I play other servers, is because, or one of the main reasons I should say, is just because you don't want to sit in that queue. So you're like, okay, I'll just try to hit Legend on the Wild servers. But now, since more people are getting Legend a little bit quicker, and since they're matching you based on MR, not rank, you can get games right away, even if you hit Legend early, and that's a big deal. Yeah. Especially if you're trying to rank up.
Yeah.
So I think overall it's a positive thing.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of hope that down the line, I wouldn't mind if they split Legend into 2 groups myself. Like, I'm not a Legend player, so it's not like I'm saying, I deserve to be better, but it does feel like Legend has it's lost a little bit of its prestige with this, like just enough to say. And I feel like it would be nice if they had like a new word, just not a new word for top 200 Legend or something.
I hear you there. Like, for me, like, I'm not playing Hearthstone to qualify for anything. I'm not really playing Hearthstone to do. I like the challenge of it, and I like just my personality. I just want to hit a particular, and like seeing, like, being able to hit Legend, like, oh, I can check that off. Now I'm in Legend. I guess I can go for top 100, and I can, but there's no finality to that. There's not like a, like, I don't know how I'm explaining this, but just being able to, like, maybe there's like a platinum Legend after you hit Legend.
Well, like, what's the incentive, right?
Grand Legend, something like that.
Yeah, where it's just like you can continue to clear something new.
Well, and unfortunately, I mean, I think when they did the Wild Open the last couple of years, there was more incentive, like, hey, you need a top finisher or something like that. But like,
for sure,
there's been just radio silence on the Wild Open, and so what's the point to even grind for top Legend if there's no incentive to do it? I don't know.
Well, Twitter points.
Twitter points, yeah, for sure.
We got those.
Jack and Memnarch got all the.
I definitely care about Twitter points. I'm not gonna lie.
We got plenty of Twitter points. That's
yeah. And when I hit Legend, I'll get all the Twitter points. All of them.
I'll retweet. I'll retweet it, no doubt.
I should just post a list that I didn't even get there with. Like, I got there with free-to-play Hunter.
Yeah. I think it's funny. It's funny when the high Legend players like just tweet a list, but they don't have stats with it, and they don't show what their rank is, and they're just like, "Oh, this is the nuts. Play this." They get like hundreds of likes, and you're just like, "What's going on here?"
Ray Seeds once told me that he has in the past. It's either him or his friends in the past have like found a deck that was pretty bad and like went on
to troll.
Yeah, they win one game with it, and then they post it and they go
100% win rate.
Yeah, well, Corbett did that with Mechith or Snip Snap.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He got a win in High Legend and just goes, "This is an incredible deck. Everyone needs to play," and everyone was scared. I was scared for a second.
It's still good. No, I played the crap out of that list. I can't complain.
That's funny. But what it actually, like, now that I'm able to see people's ranks, it makes me feel bad about myself, because like I'm now sitting at like 800 Legend. My rank has just tanked over the last three days or so, and I'm watching Memnarch, who's still sitting at like 6, 7, 8 Legend. Like, how come I'm decaying this bad and you're still top 10?
Well, Memnarch's really good.
Well, I know.
Not to say you're not. I'm just saying he is. I know that this is the wrong podcast for this, but listeners, if any of you are Legend and you bump into me on the Wild Ladder, coin concede. I need that Legend, all right? Is this cheating? What do you think feels the best right now, KremePuff? Like, if you had to, suppose for whatever reason they said you're going on ladder, you're playing 10 games, and if you win 8 out of 10 of them, you win $1,000. What deck are you bringing right now?
It might be the list I posted in Discord. Might be Reno Quest Mage Steel.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good segue. Actually,
I like
it's that, or it's the new Jade Druid. Those two decks seem really, really good because the new 2-mana draw 3 cards is so powerful. Plus, you got the Overgrowth.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the one that Hijo initially posted. I think that list is really, really good because you're not running hard minions. You are running Kael'thas still, powerful swing turn. You're running Overgrowth. You're running the ramp cards. You're running the 2-mana draw 3 cards.
Is Oaken Summons package gone or?
Yeah, no Oaken Summons package.
Wow, I want to try this now.
It cycles super quickly, and you have plenty of armor gain. It's like a good control deck because you're still running cards like Poison Seeds and Starfall, facing off against Warlocks. Any big type minions, you need that board clear. I think it's a really good list, and Reno Quest Mage is really good. Just because I think Quest Mage, I think prior to maybe the set coming out, maybe Quest Mage was a better deck, but the feels bad of when you run into certain matchups whether it's Darkest Hour Warlock or some aggressive deck, like you hate just that. I think Reno Quest Mage, you have a chance against aggro. You have a way better chance against Shaman. You have a way of answering boards with even Darkest Hour lock when you're running Reno. Like the list I have, let's see. The only new cards, there's a few new cards I added since the expansion. The new one is Astromancer Solarian, which is the 2-mana, 3/2, spell power 1. It shuffles the 7/7 in your deck. It casts 5 random spells. That card's been surprisingly really good. The 7-mana, like you think like, okay, 5 random spells, but the fact it targets enemies first with the spell power, it can be board clears. It can be it can draw you some cards. It obviously can cast Yogg Box too with it, but it'll always attack the opponent's minions or their face first, or not their face, their opponent's minions first before it does anything to your. And with the spell power too, it can wipe it out. So I don't think it's auto include at all, but I was experimenting with it, and I used this list to hit EU Legend, and I've been playing it Wild Legend and A mostly, and obviously the new card Evocation, which is good in Quest and Reno Quest Mage. I get to cut the silly banana buffoon and just run that instead. And that card just gives you all the gas you need to complete your quest and win top. So, and then the other new card is I have Shadow Song. I'm not saying, I don't know if this card's that great, but when you're adding, you cut the banana buffoon, you add an Evocation, you want to balance minion pool for Book of Specters.
Yeah.
So substituting Polymorph I have something I thought about doing, and it's worked pretty good for it.
Okay.
And does what it needs to do in that sense. But yeah, I really like Reno Quest Mage. It's a list that I hit rank 6 legend with on an A last month, and it's one of the most comfortable for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really strong. I mean, so earlier in the month, I hit rank. I hit Diamond 1 with the normal Quest Mage. So it's the same thing that Hijo and Zeddy and everyone else is playing. I used Taylor's version, and I think we cut 1 card to put in Vargoth, because it could win a couple of unwinnable matches by taking 3 turns instead of 2, which is still ridiculous.
Yeah, I used Taylor's list too on Asia to hit legend.
And it was great. But then I hit this. It struggles a little bit against aggro, because especially if you get a slow start, it'll eat up the combo decks or the slower decks, but it will struggle against aggro. So I think that's where your Reno Quest Mage does a lot better. Is you have a chance. There's a lot of board clears. There's a lot of options. And if nothing else, like you can use Alex to get the opponent down to 15 and then punch him with 2 giants. I mean, there's a lot of decision points here. This is like all the best cards. Mine is not quite so blingy as yours, unfortunately, but maybe one day.
I think with Druid becoming more popular, I think it's going to be one of the best there. Having Reno Quest Mage does do better against it, unless you're running Taylor's version. When you're running Vargoth, I think you kind of need Vargoth to beat Druid or Zephyrs.
I agree.
So I think that's why I lean towards Reno Quest Mage. Plus, it counters. I feel like you have a chance against thing. Whereas even if your good matchups aren't as good, like standard Quest Mage, I'd rather have a list like this where I can just jam a bunch of games I'm with.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, but I want to. If you're out there listening to the show and you, oh wow, should I craft Astromancer Solarian? I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's an auto include by any means. I think Evocation definitely amps the deck up and makes it a lot more. So I think that's a must craft. But the 2-mana card, 2-mana legendary, I would say is. But it is a lot of fun, and it has won me games that was supposed.
Yeah, I was playing standard last night, right around rank 5 with that. It's so weird that it's even a thing, but like no minion mage, and I was using Zeddy's version, and I kept getting. It uses that card that gives you 3 random mage minions, and it like I kept getting Astromancer Solarian like over and over and over, and it's surprisingly good when you can play that and it randomly targets enemy stuff. Like it was great. It was like fireball, frostbolt, pyroblast. Like, oh, this is pretty good. So you'd get board clears or whatever. Like, I mean, it's not bad.
The argument against it in a Reno deck though is if you're worried about diluting your deck to draw some of the better cards, because it obviously shuffles 7/7.
Yeah.
Maybe you're really looking for, your Vargoth, or you're looking for, whatever it is you need. Whether it's even Reno, I like running Amazing Reno just because it helps. If you're running Ice Block, here's my argument: if you're running Ice Block and you're going to get something like a Quest Mage or something, if they're going to pop your block, you want to be able to clear their board and gain some life to sort of recoup what you've lost or what you would have done if you were. Because a lot of times you're staring down at a Quest Mage board, and you have 2 choices: heal all the way back up to with Reno, or try to clear the board, and then they just ping your face and win. Having something like the Amazing Reno, which can wipe the board, give you 5 armor, and let you stabilize from there, I think is really good. Also with Darkest Hour, not all of them high roll and run and play Darkest Hour in 5 or 6.
Are you sure?
I know it seems that way. But having that ability to be able to clear big board to get it late, I like having that board clear. And plus, I don't know. I think Amazing Reno is good. It plays in standard. I've seen the argument against it in Wild, but I can't stop playing it.
Every once in a while, like I've gotten what is it? The Astromancer or whatever the card is in Druid, where it gives you 10 mana and discards your hand.
Astro Communion.
Astro Communion. That's happened to me from Amazing Reno before. He's
Cataclysm.
He's sheeped my own stuff before. He's Cataclysm before. He's used Sprint before and killed myself in fatigue. Like there's a handful of bad stuff, but like I think that it's very viable, especially from it's more of a Hail Mary than something that you play on curve, right? I mean, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly for me. It's against the Quest Mage on the backswing after they've comboed and pop your block. I think that's where it's most useful. Secondly, it's against Darkest Hour block. And I think now there's a new set that's out. Anytime there's more cards added to the that can dilute possibly casting Astro Communion or Cataclysm, then you're less likely to have those sort of outcomes. So I would argue it's probably gotten better. I haven't looked at all the spells to see what other negative ones, but I mean, obviously they're not going to be as bad as Cataclysm and Astro Communion, which is what you're praying not to happen.
Yeah.
Then you just don't play the card too if you completed the quest and you're about to Vargoth. If you're worried about it messing with your Vargoth turns, then you just don't play it and you're able to do it. So
yeah,
I like it. I initially was drawn to Reno Quest Mage when Psy Gunther was hitting like rank 1 legend with E like all the time, and I don't know if you guys remember Gunther Mage on standard way back in the day.
Yeah, I loved Gunther Mage.
Yeah, and he was playing Wild. You just didn't hear from him much either. You'd see some of his list and some of the rank star reports. But he was consistently hitting legend like months ago with Reno Quest Mage, and that deck was super fun. And then was it EK started?
EK played a ton. Yeah.
Well, EK was starting to post the Dragon variant, I was playing a lot of just the regular Reno Quest Mage, and I was like, you know what? Like, I really like Malagos a lot. I think that's one of the main reasons why you want to even run a dragon variant of Quest Mage, because Malagos is just a better Kazakus in some ways. So yeah, I started running that list more and more, and I like the consistency of it, and I think it's still the more powerful variant.
Nothing feels better than playing of the amazing Reno on against a Q block. It's just insane.
Yeah, all the death rattles gone.
It
just feels so good.
Poof.
It doesn't feel fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if they're emoting you too. And when I first started playing that card, and then they play their Gul'dan, and they're just like emoting you, and you're like, ha, all right.
Hey, what's your opinion on Q block? Do you think what do you think's better, Void Daddy or the new 5/7?
Oh man,
it seems close.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have to pick one or the other?
I think so.
Could you just cut Doom Guards and just run that instead?
You could, but you can't. It'll shore up. It'll make you the ultimate anti-aggro cube, but it kind of stops you from winning against. I feel worse against decks that can combo you out if you do that, right?
Well, it would be better against Quest Mage too, though, right? Because unless you're trying, Doom Guards are good at killing the Quest Mage, but Quest Mages have to punch through with Giants as well.
Yeah. But it was interesting. Like a month ago when Hijo was playing with the Q block version with no Doom Guards at all, and it was running Albatrosses and stuff like that. It was only Doom. It was only Void Daddies, and
it's good against Reno decks and stuff, obviously.
Yeah. I never thought that I would see eggs in Q block. That has been something new for me. And
that's been around though for, I don't know, Saucy Mailman was doing that 6-7 months ago, 8 months ago almost.
Yeah, no. It's been around for 6 months. I just don't. I don't love having the eggs in my Warlock.
Yeah, I agree. I like running the Demons package. I like being able to cheat those out to make sure my Void Collar is resistant. I also I think that new Legendary, the 3/2 is really good too.
3/2.
Yeah,
it's Demon.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. the only time that it sucks is when it gets pulled from
Skull of the Minari.
Yes.
Or Void Collar, yeah. It does hurt. It does suck.
It's still good because it's a 7 attack or whatever it is, but being able to drop it and a couple Doom Guards fly out is awesome.
Yeah.
So
it also discounts your demons too, right? So you can coin it out, or you can play it on 2 and then coin out your Void Collar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it has some.
I've seen a couple lists. I don't think it's quite refined yet, but we're getting close.
Well, what if say you cut the Doom Guards, right? And then you run the Void Daddies and the 5/7, and then you run the 3/2, and then you run N'Zoth as well. It's ultimate.
I like it.
Agreed. It is nice.
Well, you have to look at the meta, right? And if the meta is primarily aggro, then maybe that's a really good call. I like the 5/7 with taunt, and then you get a 5/5 with lifesteal or lifelink or whatever it's called. It's awesome.
Well, you want to make it as greedy as possible if you're going to try to make it super anti-aggro, so you have gas at the end.
Mm-hmm,
I guess the argument is you just 2-1, right, and just get multiple Gul'dans. But
yeah. That was Nate.
But hey, you can run all of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I opened golden copies of the new one, so I'm running it.
Well, say you cut the 2-1 though too, and you want to run N'Zoth. Your N'Zoth pool too, not running the 2-1. So if you just want to shuffle multiple 3/2s back into your deck,
yeah,
or resurrect them, it feels a lot better to resummon the 3/2 than it does the 2/1. And the 3/2s will summon multiple copies of the 7s, make more demons. You have type of board flip.
I like it.
Daniel would be better suited to talk about this stuff.
I think he's watching or listening.
Oh, is he?
We'll have to we'll goof around with it. Daniel, what are you doing next week?
Yeah. Yeah, I like the new cube stuff going around though. I wonder if the if you're gonna play the egg version, I wonder if that 3/4 goes in. Like I saw a list that was playing eggs, but it wasn't playing the 3/4 neutral legendary that destroys all your minions. I ended up putting it in and I did okay with it, but I've only played like 5 or 6 games with it. But it seems interesting.
That card seems better suited in a deck that runs Plague of Flames, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you run that in the disco lock too, or do you? Maybe it's
in which card were we talking about?
The 3/4.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it goes in discard.
You're not even running Plague of Flames in that list. Right?
No, and you're just so punished by silence if you don't have a discard outlet.
Yeah,
or if you don't have a a Plague of Flames option.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so for the people who are listening, not watching, but let me run through the list real quick, and of course we'll put the deck code everywhere. But it is a Highlander deck, so there's only one copy of each card. It is Arcane Breath, Evocation, Open the Waygate, Ray of Frost, Astromancer, Solarian, Book of Specters, Doomsayer, Licensed Adventurer, Mad Scientist, Primordial Glyph, Questing Explorer, Zephyrs the Great, Arcane Intellect, Bran Bronzebeard, Flame Ward, Ice Block, Archmage, Vargoth, Kazakias, Maiev, Shadow Song, Sky General Craig, Cobalt, Spellkin, Malygos, Aspect of Magic, Emperor Thorison, Reno Jackson, Reno the Relicologist, Mana Giant, Alexstrasza, Dragon Queen, Alexstrasza, The Amazing Reno, and Arcane Giant. So, and I think you said your 4 slot for Maiev is a little bit of a flex, right? It was previously polymorph.
Yeah, well, because I took out the Banana Buffoon because I hate that card.
I don't like it either.
But you needed it to complete your quest. Evocation gives you enough gas to do that. But if you're taking out a minion for a spell, you kind of want to substitute a spell for a minion. So I chose polymorph for Maiev that did similar things in the same mana slot. But I'm still open to ideas in that one. It just keeps the Book of Specters a little more consistent.
I'm drawing a blank on what Maiev does.
It's a 4-mana 4/3. Basically makes a minion dormant for 2 turns.
Okay, yes. So yeah, it's like polymorph. It's similar to polymorph.
Yeah, I mean, it's worse against like void lord and stuff like that. You're just trying to polymorph them to make sure their Gul'dan's not as good, and you're trying to punch through it. But you can also wait and see turns where you don't want the Void Daddy to die anyway. You don't want it to get cubed, so you can just you punish it a bit and then try to cycle to your to do it. But that's why you also have Amazing Reno to have board clears and stuff like that, and it's got plenty of greed to where obviously with Vargoth and Quest you can do stupid stuff.
Let me ask you, what is Emperor for?
Well, the deck's really heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being able to play it on curve, you can do things a little bit sooner. Helps make your Bran. If you want to do some goofy Bran turns afterwards, you can play that on 6 and like Bran into License Adventurer, play multiple coins, and play your Kazakus, get multiple spells.
It makes Reno way better, like the Amazing Reno.
Yeah, it makes Amazing Reno come a turn sooner. It just makes you have such a heavy deck that you be able to discount it. Initially, I was running Mana Sabers, like back when I was last month when I was playing that Legend. It was Mana Sabers, so that way I can play Mana Sabers into Emperor, and then just start snowballing from there. Because I would like the perfect game for me was playing Zephyrs on 2, and then ramping with Zephyrs into coining into Emperor, playing the Mana Saber. I can ramp up to play some of the bigger, heavier cards because you are playing such a heavy list to have some sheet.
I know you used to be a fan of Counterspell as the second secret. I'm guessing you switched to Flame Ward just because of how much more aggressive the meta's got lately.
Yeah, I'll switch that in and out a lot depending if I'm seeing a lot of Demon Hunters, even Shaman, then I would have Flame Ward. But when I hit rank 6 Legend on NA, I was facing like so many Darkest Hour Warlocks and so many Mech Paladins that I wanted to be able to like stop them from doing it because nobody plays around Counterspell. So if turn 5 was coming, you can play the Counterspell if you pulled it off of your thing, and they run so few spells like Mech Paladin. you know that because Mech Paladin you lose often too when they just top deck their because they don't run a lot of spells. They play the Crystologies and stuff early, and then they play the what's that card? The stupid Divine Favor card. So when they're running out of gas, you get a timely counterspell against that, and then Darkstar Warlock if they're trying to combo off, they're not going to play into counterspell. But I noticed a lot of, or if you're facing a lot of Quest Mage, like EU, it's very Quest Mage heavy, very Druid heavy. And you don't care as much about the so having the counterspell disrupt some turns. Nice.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I play on the EU ladder, a lot of them have substituted Flame Ward counterspell. So it just depends on what I'm facing. But I think generally, if you're just climbing it and you're not in Legend, I think the safe bet is Flame Ward just because of the aggro decks out there. And even Shaman, you don't have a way of clearing, whether it's for Zephyrs or Reno. Reno often doesn't do enough against even Shaman. So you need something to sort of soften the.
Yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense. And I think the spells that you get from Malygos are crazy good.
Yeah, Malygos is so good. He's the MVP he's basically the only reason. Like Alex Straza is great. Dragon Queen Alex Straza is great. Malygos is one of the main reasons why you even run a dragon variant of this.
Yeah.
It just gives you all the gash.
It's not like you would need the Alex Strazas in a dragon deck anyway, right? So Malygos just helps you. Malygos is so good. That Polymorph is probably my favorite. Either Polymorph or Flame Strike. Even Arcane Missiles can just win you games.
Oh yeah, and all of them. God. And then if you're trying to find your cards, your Renos or whatever, you're getting 3 mana draw 4. Insane.
Yeah.
So, and then that's the thing too. That's why like things like Emperor can be really good. You have a heavy hand, or say you're trying to draw into stuff. You have a handful of cards after, playing your Malygos one. Emperor that entire hand. Can let you get back on tempo, especially against the mid-range type decks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited to see how it plays. Like, I know how it plays, but I'm excited to see how you play it. Like,
right.
To learn from KremePuff. Like, I think we've all, if you're listening to this podcast, it's likely that you've played this deck or at least played against a variation of it, right? So I'm excited to give it a try and see how you do it, KremePuff.
You got it, man.
Beauty. This is going to be fun. I hope they make more Quest Matters cards. I really like having all of them. Oh, and I wanted to mention, you don't like the minion that makes... Oh, he's in there. Never mind. The minion that makes a charge guy. He's there.
Oh, Sky Captain or Sky General Crag is rad.
He's very good.
He's good. He's great with Brand, too, in certain situations.
Name 4 good situations.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just a better Ziliax. Get a turn earlier. You can kill things like Flame Wakers.
I never thought of that. It's so weird not to see Ziliax in a deck like this. Like, it makes sense why you don't, but it's so weird to see.
I mean, some run both. I used to run both, but there's just so many good cards now. You kind of have to pick and choose what to fit.
Yeah. Well, the deck looks super fun. I'm excited for us to try it out. So
you know who else is probably excited for that?
EK.
EK needs to learn how. EK forgot how to play Hearthstone. I think. I'm just kidding. EK, I'm so sorry. I know you've been having a bad time, and I took a shot. I did it. It was for comedy. It's not personal. I love you.
We love you.
He's had a really bad win rate lately, and it's not. He is a very skilled player. He's just been having a really rough go lately, so I want to apologize right now. And but I was actually going to say who's going to enjoy this will be Shokunin and Pug Ugly, our executive Patreons, our producers of the show. Just wanted to give them a quick shout out before I forgot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for really making the show possible. It's been it's been a huge help. Just the support.
It's been
1 week.
That's where I was going.
I forgot how many days.
Yeah, it's been 1 week since the quarantine. Okay,
is that the next song?
It might have to be. Oh my god, I think it is. Anyway, sorry, Nate. I just so rudely cut you off.
No, that's good. That's good. Oh man.
So we got to start wrapping up, I guess, because unfortunately these podcasts can't go on forever, even though we'd love them to. So, is there anything else before we start wrapping up, Nate? Can I get KremePuff's plugs out?
Yeah, for sure. Plug away.
Well, yeah, go ahead, KremePuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can follow me on Twitter at KremePuffHS, KremePuff with a K, REMEPUFFHS, where I post my deck lists and my general thoughts on Hearthstone. I typically play more Wild in general, just because I think the format's fun, but or lately I've been playing a lot of Demon Hunter and Standard, so I can keep tabs on there as I try to hit 500 wins or 1,000 officially.
Get that money.
But get that money. I have to reach out and see if I can get to be a part of that. Might as well run that. But yeah, that's it in terms of, I don't have a podcast anymore. I don't stream. I probably should.
You should.
If you want me on as a guest on another podcast, hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah, but remember who got them first, everyone.
It's true. It's true.
I ain't petty. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, KremePuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good to have you.
Yeah, you can follow me at Craig of Canada. That's CRAIG of Canada. If you can't spell Canada, don't bother following me. And I keep saying that I might stream. I probably won't. Nate?
You can find me on Twitter at NateWolfHS. It's NATE. It's TCG. I changed it a while back. I probably should change it back to HS. I'm not really playing much of anything else these days. Anyways, it's NATEWOLFETCG on Twitter. You can follow the show at Born to Be Wild HS. You can email the show at borntobewildhs@gmail.com. Or check us out on YouTube. We've got all of our shows, songs, gameplay, everything else is up on YouTube at youtube.com/borntobewildpodcast. And thank you all for listening.
Now, I know we're just about to take off, Nate, but before we leave, can you play the bumper? And now, unrelated advice.
One of these days you're going to forget.
Yeah, I'll never forget, Nate. So, Nate, I was called out earlier, right? And I've been really, really struggling on my climb to legend. I can't seem to stop playing. If you look in the Discord chat, I played through the whole. When the episode started, I was the top of rank 3, and I am now rank 1 star. And I guess I just want to, how do you balance Hearthstone with the rest of your life? Because clearly I'm not doing a great job right now.
You know, especially trying to work from home is very difficult. It's definitely tempting, but you just got to prioritize. And it's very, very tricky sometimes.
It is. Here's me. I'm going to record the podcast, relax, get off the ladder. I'm rank 1, baby! Woo! So, thanks for their help there, Nate. KremePuff, any advice to know when a habit is becoming an unhealthy habit?
Oof. I don't know, man. Take a walk, do some push-ups. I don't know. Take some deep breaths. Download the Headspace app. I'd recommend that.
Oh yeah, I heard it's good. I heard it's good actually.
Yeah, I've actually been. I meditate a lot. Actually, big practice.
So you recommend the Headspace app?
I think the Headspace app is the best one. There's a Calm app as well. Seem to like. I haven't used that one too much, but just meditating in general. If you don't want to use an app, that's fine. Having a quiet space to kind of be with your thoughts. I think if you listen to old Top Deck Kings episodes in the past, I was real big into like mindfulness and meditation, just because tilt is a real thing, and people don't know, including myself, sometimes how to handle certain feelings, and being able to just accept those feelings. That's big when it comes to ladder climbing as well.
This show brought to you by Headspace.com.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We are looking for sponsors. Elbow.
Yeah, you can have all 200 of our listeners. Anyway, well, wiser words have never been spoken, and you heard that on Born to Be Wild.